Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Frameshift drive charging. System scan complete. Surface scanned by 50%.
announce his presidential candidacy. The trillionaire entrepreneur Zachary Rackham has officially confirmed that he will stand as a candidate in the 3,309 federal election. Mr. Rackham finally stated his intentions following several weeks of speculation. At a press conference, he said, "I know what you're all thinking. That guy as president? Isn't he just a common businessman who used to survive on scraps by trading trinkets in a rusty old sidewinder? But despite my humble origins, many good people have convinced me that my experience with running corporations would prove useful to the Federation. I feel like everyone's tired of the same empty words from the two big political parties. It's time to hear from the little guy." Mr. Rackham added that it will take several weeks to prepare his manifesto and campaign team. It is unknown whether he intends to form a new political party or stand as an independent candidate. There has been no comment from President Hudson or Shadow President Winters. However, several congressmen remarked that the media attention accompanying Mr. Rackham's efforts might attract more public interest in next year's presidential race. Only 65% of eligible voters took part in the last election in 3,300. The Tau Ceti Journal noted that the value of shares in Rackham Capital Investments has soared to an all-time high, making many investors extremely wealthy overnight. New discovery links Azimuth to INRA. Pilots Federation alert. An abandoned outpost in the DG Canum Venaticorum system could reveal the true identity of the anonymous figure Salvation. Professor Albert Tesreau, former head of research at Aegis, made a public announcement. An untraceable source pointed me to the DG Canum Venaticorum system with the question, "Who is Salvation?" A unique detail caught my attention, so I requested verification from pilots who had supported Aegis. We found a previously undiscovered research outpost once controlled by the Intergalactic Naval Reserve Arm. The site contains logs which directly connect Azimuth biochemicals to INRA's development of the mycoid virus. As is now known, this bioweapon was used covertly against the Thargoids and drove them away from human space for decades. Most significantly, I believe these logs may finally reveal Salvation's real name and background. I urge the superpowers to halt their collaboration with Salvation while this new data is verified. INRA was a clandestine anti-Xeno organization formed in 3125 by the Empire and Federation. Although its mycoid bioweapon contributed hugely to the end of the First Thargoid War in 3151, INRA's activities have since been denounced by the superpowers as illegal and unethical. Azimuth Biochemicals was a pharmaceutical corporation secretly involved in xenological research and weapons development. Aegis has warned that Azimuth may still be active in some form, as suggested by the Project Seraph logs in Ep.248. Neither Salvation nor his partners at Taurus Mining Ventures have yet responded to Professor Tesreau's claims.
Scan complete.
The Golconda Resurrection. With the generation ship Golconda being repaired by the Artificer's clan, its former population are considering resuming their journey. Commander Javi Alvarado, a local trader who befriended the Golcondans, offered this insight for Vox Galactica. Following a prompt from the Artificer's clan, I transported Captain Forrester and other community leaders from Forrester's Choice to the Golconda. They were visibly awed at the changes made to their ancient home, with modern interface panels and machinery expertly entwined with thousand-year-old technology. The newly installed frame shift drive was powered up, which brought Forrester close to tears. We also visited the habitation rings, now sustained by updated environmental systems but otherwise unchanged. There were Artificer's clan members bustling back and forth. Each wore grime-stained overalls, crisscrossed with belts and bandoliers dangling with tools, and diagnostic scanners of some kind covering their eyes. They chattered to each other in a rapid dialect that was hard to follow, as they performed engineering work on whatever they could lay their hands on. The chieftain explained to Captain Forrester that the clan retrofitted the Golconda mainly because tech love was their life duty. But the clan also asked for supplies of fresh food for their dredger, which Forrester agreed to provide. As we flew back to the outpost, I could tell that most of the Golcondans were deeply affected. I can't blame them. The only world many of them knew for decades has been transformed. The leaders spoke of an unexpected opportunity to resume their old way of life, and questioned whether a stationary existence honors their ancestors' dream. I get the feeling that change is in the wind. The plot to depose Anaconda Lane. Further information has emerged regarding Vidar Trask's failed attempt to take control of the Kumo crew syndicate. The latest findings were reported by the Pegasi Sentinel. The few survivors from Trask's shattered army have revealed that over 1,000 fighters were supplied by the Blue Viper Club Dredger clan. Kay Volantine, one of its leaders, is now confirmed to have masterminded the coup alongside Trask. Their motivations were as different as their backgrounds. Trask rose to power beside Anaconda Lane but became frustrated under his rule, believing that he could reorganize the Kumo crew along more efficient lines. Volantine aimed to provide her nomadic tribe with permanent homes, to be financed by trafficking onion head gamma strain and protected by the syndicate's might. We have also learned that the standard of living on the Blue Viper Club Dredger has markedly improved in recent months. This was in accordance with the terms of the alliance that Volantine brokered between the clan and the Kumo crew. According to engineers at Kumo City Starport, the dredger's modernized hyperdrive enables it to make jumps more frequently and over greater distances. This means it could now be almost anywhere within a several hundred light-year radius, which may frustrate Delane's vow to hunt down Volantine and exact revenge for her betrayal. Relaunching the Golconda. Pilots Federation alert. Traders and combat pilots are required in the Ep.248 system to assist the Golconda in resuming its voyage. The ancient generation ship, which originated from Earth in the 22nd century, has been retrofitted by the Artificer's clan into a functional modern vessel. The majority of its former population have decided to leave the outpost Forrester's Choice and return to their traditional nomadic lifestyle. Captain Jonathan Forrester, leader of the Golconda Union, announced, "In 3305 the galactic community provided us with a chance to end our original journey, so it will be fitting if they can help us start a new chapter among the stars. The Golconda now has a frame shift drive that requires tritium fuel, and shipments of medical diagnostic equipment and power generators are also needed. Ep.248 Vision Incorporated has agreed to organize the initiative. Pilots are asked to deliver all commodities to Fosen Port, from where they will be transferred aboard the Golconda. Local security forces warn that pirates may attempt to hijack incoming shipments or take control of the Golconda itself. As a defensive measure, The Panicless Vision Incorporated has offered bounties on all wanted ships in the system. According to the Federal Diplomatic Corps, these events do not violate the legislation that protects isolated societies from cultural contamination. It added, partnership status with the Federation has been extended to the Golconda and continues to apply to Forester's Choice Outpost.
Surface scan complete.
Aegis. Arrest Salvation for murder. Claims that Salvation was once a senior member of Azimuth Biochemicals who worked for INRA have led to a public outcry. Political journalist Conrad Sterling reported on these developments for Vox Galactica. Information recently uncovered in the DG Canum Venaticorum system has been presented by Professor Albert Tesro. It suggests that Salvation's real name is Dr. Caleb Wycherley, former Vice President of Research at Azimuth Biochemicals. According to Wycherley's personal logs, his team contributed to the development of the controversial mycoid bioweapon deployed by INRA during the First Thargoid War. Wycherley's logs also provide evidence that he gained the nickname of the Witch. This figure has been implicated in the murderous attack on the Alexandria megaship in June 3307 and in Project Seraph recordings found in the HIP-26176 and HIP-2246 neurosystems. Former Aegis leadership has demanded that Salvation be arrested and questioned over his involvement in these events, and that Superpower Fleet support for Salvation's work be suspended until such questions have been answered. Supporters of Salvation have dismissed the latest logs as fake, pointing out that Dr. Wycherley would now be over 200 years old, and that the mention of Salvation is coincidental. But outrage remains high over the unethical activities of both Azimuth and INRA, and Salvation's growing influence over anti-Thargoid operations has been cast in a new light. The Alliance, Empire and Federation have all responded with non-committal statements that the accusation will be investigated, said Sterling. However, since Salvation's unique superweapons now form the cornerstone of their anti-Xeno strategy, his arrest would be a major political and military inconvenience. Alliance Sirius Pact enters approval stage. The probationary period for the proposed anti-Xeno partnership between the Alliance and Sirius Corporation has now ended. Prime Minister Edmund Mahon made this public statement. Documentation for the Strategic Defense Pact has been submitted to the Assembly for debate and amendment. Council members will vote by the end of June to decide whether or not it should be ratified. In the last 3 months, Sirius Corporation has successfully increased security for aligned interests in the Coalsack and Witchhead nebulas. It also did a splendid job arranging for crucial supplies to be delivered to the DDO system during the Thargoid invasion. The Council of Admirals does not wish to rely exclusively on Salvation to protect aligned systems, and I concur with their assessment. Combining our defense force with Sirius's resources will be a huge step toward forming an Alliance Navy, thereby increasing our anti-Thargoid fleet capabilities on a par with the Empire and Federation. Councillor Nakato Kane, Mahon's political rival, also made a statement. In my view, Sirius Corporation remains an untrustworthy partner and has exerted a disruptive influence on the Alliance. I continue to oppose the Strategic Defense Pact and urge my fellow Council members to prevent it being adopted as policy. Golconda receives vital supplies. Pilots Federation alert. Shipments delivered to the Ep.248 system have enabled the Golconda generation ship to resume its millennia-long voyage. Tritium, medical diagnostic equipment and power generators were needed to finalize the retrofit of the ancient vessel. Bounties were placed on all wanted ships in the system to protect traders from pirates targeting the flow of traffic to the Golconda. A statement was provided by Captain Jonathan Forrester. The Golconda has now achieved full operational status and for the first time is capable of faster-than-light travel. I offer my deepest gratitude to all those who made this possible.
Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete.
It will be my honor to once again lead my people on our journey among the stars. The majority of the original population have begun to migrate back to the generation ship, which nurtured their isolated micro-civilization for over a millennium. A few thousand Golcondans have elected to remain at Forrester's Choice Outpost under the guidance of the ship's former custodian, Erin Gray. Itsuko Harada, CEO of Ep.248 Vision Incorporated, announced, "When the Golconda first arrived in our space, we were pleased to play a part in rescuing its people. I am likewise overjoyed that we could aid its historic rebirth. Rewards for all pilots who made deliveries and those who defended them against criminals are now available at Fozard Port." The Golconda's transformation was achieved thanks to the advanced engineering skills of the Artificers clan, who performed repairs and updates at great speed. The clan's dredger has now left the Ep.248 system, having been provided fresh food supplies by the Golconda Union. Thargoid Research Project Phase 2 begins. Pilots Federation alert. Professor Ishmael Palin has requested deliveries of Thargoid artifacts to the ARC system for scientific study. The first phase of the project took place last month and focused on meta-alloys. In a public announcement, Professor Palin outlined the second phase. My ongoing analysis of the Thargoid's biomechanical technology has reached a point where fresh material is needed. Specifically, I require large supplies of Thargoid probes, resin and sensors. I appreciate that there are risks involved in transporting such dangerous alien artifacts. Hopefully, the corrosion-resistant cargo racks that were provided following this project's initial phase will prove useful. As well as payment in credits, I am pleased to offer Grade 5 engineered heavy-duty hull reinforcement packages as an additional reward. Pilots are asked to deliver Thargoid probes, Thargoid resin and Thargoid sensors to Baird Gateway on the planet Arc 4E.
Orbital flight engaged. gear deployed.